Hello everyone, welcome back to Social Club. Is Paul Pogba failing at Man United, or is modern football failing Paul Pogba? Yes!
No!
That might be the most philosophical title to a Social Club video of all time. Let me lead off with this, because I think if you look at in terms of his goal and assists return, I think it's been fine. And I think, you know, if you judge them alongside most people playing in his sort of positions, he's been up there with some decent players this season. The thing for me that gets me is having come off the back of Liverpool Man United at the weekend, when you've got hashtag Pogba on the advertising hoardings, and it's the same haircut on his emoji that he's got on the pitch that he's specifically done for this football match, which is shit, by the way. It's a shit haircut. I'm just saying. But this, for me, and we were having a brief discussion about this earlier, and the thing that gets me, for Paul Pogba, who's, you know, the breaking transfer records, which is already a pressure being put on, an expectation of a player of that level, and then he's got this coordinated social media campaign around him in the biggest match of the season, in terms of, you know, and the biggest rivalry in English football on this stage, and he's running around with these advertising hoardings going around, and I said it's a joke, but at some point in the weeks build up to this match, a marketing company, his agent, him, his barber, and Twitter have all sat down and said, well, we're going to do this for the Man United match.
Great idea.
Well, I'm sorry, but Paul Pogba right now is not the best footballer in the world. He's not at a level, and I think it makes a mockery of him, and it makes a mockery of Man United, and it makes a mockery of modern football and football fans that this thing even exists, when, quite frankly, his performances and what he's done this season, though fine, do not justify the level of interest that this whole thing's been generating. Discuss.
I feel a bit of hurt, you know, on yourself. You don't have that 89 million quid to go and buy one of the best young players in world football.
No, true. It's true. I'd love us to have 90 million pounds of spunk on a midfielder, like, but
I think it's quite interesting. Obviously, Paul Pogba's got a lot of rap for the game. He was very, very poor. Obviously, conceded the penalty. What frustrated me was his use of the ball. It was very, very poor. It was too slow. Liverpool had a plan against Pogba. As soon as he got the ball, bang, they were on him. And, you know, they counter-attacked from those situations. He wasn't switching the play. Valencia was in acres of space. Didn't find him. It was so frustrating. But what we've seen before this game from Paul Pogba has been very, very good in recent months. You know, in terms of the stats, he's up there with the elite players. In terms of passes, only Henderson's completed more in the Premier League. In terms of final third passes, no central midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues managed more than Pogba. So he's definitely up there in the top echelons. In terms of goals and assists, for the media, need a few more of those. But if you look at Juve last season, kicked on in sort of the last 20 games of the season. Yeah. So again, he's a late starter. But it was just frustrating how he didn't. The pace of the game took him away.
What did you expect from Pogba, though, when you signed him this season? Because it kind of bit outside the realms of you used to think this guy's going to come in and take the Premier League by storm this year.
You could expect that because of what he's done in the last 4 years since he's left Man United, just progressively becoming better and better and better. But he's definitely now he's joined Man United. He's at the point where, is Pogba the brand the biggest thing, or is Pogba himself? You're looking at Man United, the perfect example is David Beckham. Brand Beckham, Fergie didn't like it. Yep. Beckham was sold to Real Madrid. Now you're looking at Pogba, and he is still a kid. It's hard to sort of think about because everything he's achieved already, but he's still only 23, so his peak technically is 3-4 years away. And right now, as Man United, as Dave said, he's doing very well. He's hit the bar 7 times, most times in the Premier League.
That's good, is it?
The amount of but I'm saying that he's that close.
They're the metrics you look at when you're signing a 90 million
You're saying his goals and assists are fine at the moment.
Crossbar challenge. The vital content is, you know, it's on point. Like.
So they filmed a few of that, but his assists as well. Man United's finishing has been very, very poor, and his finishing was poor. But in terms of the brand itself, it fucks me off. It sickens me. But you're looking at Man United have spent 90 million on an asset. They want to milk it, and they are milking it. And the club themselves are unfortunately putting the wrong sort of pressure on Pogba, and they're definitely not helping him. But he's not helping himself because it's Pogba. He dances in Instagram videos. He loves it. He soaks it up. Yeah. So it's. You dance.
Well, how much of this is him? This is my point. Is that there's got to be a certain degree of where they've got to justify the amount of money, and that's very, very difficult to do. Because as much as you say shirt sales, I'm sorry, you don't sell that many shirts. Exactly.
It all goes back to Adidas anyway.
Adidas get all that money anyway. You've got to try and find a way to justify the expenditure in that regard. But you know, he's got to get better at football first.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous. I guess from Adidas's point of view is, say he completely loses it, it turns into like Anna Kournikova. It's just like the deals are bigger than.
Can we
him.
put a picture? I really wish. Can we put a picture of Anna Kournikova in the video, because just so you remember Anna Kournikova?
Yeah, could someone just show me a picture of Anna Kournikova?
It's actually my screensaver still.
So good. Because you're right. There's no doubt that he's got the quality. There's no doubt Juventus he thrived there in a league that he would do, because it's much slower pace. Yeah. But there's a very good point there that he played really badly yesterday, and he was very slow in possession yesterday. And a real reason for that would be that your head's not completely somewhere else. Of course, he's concentrating, but there might be more things on your mind. And as a sportsman, he should be thinking about Man United first. And with all this other stuff around him, it's not helpful. Yeah. And I think in America, I think there's probably more of a different kind of philosophy to that, where these kids are from high school onwards are the superstar and want to be the superstar. So they feel comfortable in that surrounding. But for Pogba, I'm not sure he's enjoying it as much.
There's a great example of it within the same club. Look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm sorry, but Zlatan brand Zlatan did not exist around him when he was 23 years old. Yeah. I know he played for top clubs and he moved around, but that's only something that's developed in the last few years when you think about it, the dirt as Zlatan bollocks and all that. But he's earned that.
He loves that.
And he loves it too.
He loves it.
And that's fine. Again, it's great. I mean, the companies love it, and they love the idea of Pogba because he's so comfortable with all that stuff. But here's the thing: there's two ends of the scale. It's something we did it on Redmen TV and a little bit in our Final Word show, which you can watch on the Redmen TV YouTube channel. One end of the scale, you've got Zlatan Ibrahimovic and David Beckham and these Uber brands as well as Uber footballers. But you've got Mario Balotelli on the other end of the scale there, who focused far too much on having his mad boots and having his crazy haircuts and setting fireworks off in his bathroom and all that. You know what I mean? But he became more the brand than the footballer itself. And okay, look, he's rekindling things now, and he's still actually got bags of time in his career to turn it round, but he's far more likely to be someone who retires by the age of 28 than he is to go and look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic in his mid-30s scoring double figures goals in the Premier League. And I tip my hat to Ibrahimovic, much as it pains me, because again, he's earned the right to be that massive
I think that's
brand.
what Paul Pogba can gotta do in this game. He's written this off now. 23 years old, first game against Liverpool in the Premier League, always poor. Next time he's going to go and he might not care about what Adidas are saying, what XY Twitter are saying, this. They're going to be going, okay, what's the Liverpool press going to do? How can I play around this? And that's something that he needs to do in terms of maturity. You can't just blame Paul Pogba in this midfield performance. Michael Carrick was nullified. Lallana, absolutely fantastic performance. There's sort of a Part G song on Pirlo type example where it killed United. When Carrick's been in the team, United have won. When Carrick's been in the team, Paul Pogba's played. When Carrick's is nullified, you're killing Pogba. So maybe it was another smart thing that Liverpool have done, and maybe we should give a little bit more credit to Liverpool than we are doing in terms of nullifying Paul Pogba and making him, not play to his potential. But that chance, he's got to take that chance. That is a technical issue with his left foot. Right on his right side, he's usually very good at finishing. So maybe again, there's improvement there. But I think that's what we're talking about. This player that's got all this pressure that needs to evolve and be this guy.
He's got too much on his head. And look, the man is so obsessed with dabbing that he dabbed to give away a penalty, and that's piss poor as far as I'm concerned.
It would be interesting to know, Sam. You've been the deal itself went on and on and on in the summer. So you've been reporting on Pogba for a long time, and then you've obviously you're going to know stuff about his youth team days at United as well. What is his character like? Is he going to thrive in this?
He's always been the centre of attention, and he thrives on it, because you look at his physique when he's 18. He's already 6'1". He's the literally kids around him, and he literally stands out. So he's always been that sort of player, and he's always stepped up to the plate. The thing that I find that nobody talks about is when he actually left United, everyone's saying, "No, you've got a player that good. Why is he not getting that much more money? X, Y, Z." But he was playing pretty poor in our reserves that year. Right. But he already had his agent by that point. And Mino Raiola has definitely had a massive influence on his career today.
Well, shock.
Yeah, shock horror.
Who does he also have on his books?
Zlatan.
Mario Balotelli as well.
And Mkhitaryan too. But these agents, I think it's pretty unfair to compare 23 Zlatan to 23 Pogba, because football is different.
World,
it's impossible for them to now go outside without 7 cameras being there. But he dances with the devil. He loves the money that he gets from it. So you're going to have to cope with the negative as well. You can't have UK cannot. It's just the way it goes.
What
man.
it felt to me, like it felt like this is what Man United have become a little bit. You know, like there's what you're saying there. Alex Ferguson wouldn't have stood for any of that. You know what I mean? It's just one, and it feels like this what Man United have become. Have crossed over into this, you know, super brand, and they've been going that way for 30 years, haven't they? Let's be perfectly honest. Like, but it did feel like that should not have been the centre of attention at that game. It detracts from what United should be doing on the pitch. And again, if it detracts even in marginal gains, your superstar, supposed most expensive player, then that gets fucked off because football's got to come first. And that's the where Man United, I think, are at a tipping point in terms of where they are for the coming few years. And on one side is them getting back up to where they've been in the last 20 years. And the other side is them going back to what they were in the early 80s, where this team who did go on by megastars and hope that they would get everything back for them and put all the faith in that, instead of having an ethos of that Alex Ferguson put in place, which was football.
Something that might be interesting to think of is, you know, everyone talks about how player power. We talked to previously another video which you should check out, Costa at Chelsea. Sponsor power, because you've looked at Adidas have signed the biggest deal with Man United. They've then brought their biggest asset to Man United. It's the perfect market employ for them. It's win-win, it's gold. And the advertising hoardings, Pogba's there trying to concentrate on the game.
Not if Man
and all
United
he sees
in the Europa League
is his name.
Yeah.
Well, it'll still it'll still be worth like 40-50 million a year. I shouldn't have answered that question. I shouldn't have risen to the bait.
Damn it! I think the big thing with this is they get paid to play football. At the end of the day, Mourinho's the manager. He should be, you know, pulling Paul Pogba away from these guys and saying, we're not doing this game because we need to win this game of football. Yeah. But in a way, it's like a young player, and I think we judge them a bit too harshly this day and age. You know, look at Emre Can at Liverpool, 2 very poor games this week. Plymouth, he was absolutely awful. Southampton, he was very, very poor, but then turned up against Man United. And that's what young players are like. They are inconsistent. If Paul Pogba's showing that he's playing like 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 good games, then he has a bad game. Yeah. It's not the worst place to be in right now.
It's just that thing, though, isn't it? It's the glare that gets put on players, and Emre Can's going to be afforded. Hopefully, I mean, like, he's been linked with Juventus this week. I don't know where his future lies with Liverpool, but you know, it's one of those things that the spotlight is not him to become the next Beckenbauer or Mateus, because there's nothing, all this stuff isn't surrounding him. He loves the Instagram, you know, he loves his hair, he loves modelling, all these kind of bits and pieces. But Pogba, is the pressure on him, and it's been going for years, and it was exacerbated at the Euros when everyone was like, this is going to be his Zidane tournament, where he steps up and shows what he does. But as you say, a bit young yet, and a lot to come. But again, as always I say on these, I don't really care if he succeeds or not. But you know, what a phenomenal footballing talent. It would be nice, just as in a general football sense, to see these guys actually fulfill the potential, because if someone like him can't do it, I do worry for where football's going, because you know, these such natural footballing talents, if they're being swayed towards all this marketing madness, then it doesn't bode well. They're not just footballers anymore. You know, George Best was the first footballing celebrity, and now every footballer is a celebrity. Yeah. Even the shit ones. When it comes down to it, I mean, this is the thing. David Beckham, we mentioned it before. You know, he was Bram Beckham. I think, but my God, you could never question David Beckham's work rate. He was still the guy who stayed late after training to make himself a better footballer. Blah blah blah. And this is a point where we're going to know. We'll see in the coming years about Paul Pogba and whether he has actually got that mentality. Fingers crossed.
But I think he's young for a central midfielder though as well. We've got to remember that central midfielders will peak at 28. You know, it's decision making being in central midfield, and that's something that Paul Pogba needs to work on. Yeah. So it's something. The talent is there. The raw material is there. Anyway, it's putting it together.
If you want to interact with the show, you can using #Machin on Twitter, and then a picture of me going like that. I'll crop up. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on the Pogba situation in the comments underneath. Don't forget to drop a like on this video as well, and subscribe to everyone involved, and check back for more amazing social club action this week.